What's going on, Team Tyler? Happy Taco Tuesday. And so before we get into it,
It's not Taco Tuesday.
oh, it's not? I got you. Yeah. Let's start over. What's going on, Team Tyler? Another one of those tough love Tuesdays. Before we get into it, cheers. Sip. That's some good stuff here. So before we get into it, I need to address a few of your comments. A lot of you have been asking me about Stacy from accounting. Stacy and I have decided to bury the hatchet, and how it happened is I walked over to her desk and I was having my usual cauliflower rice and some turkey. She was having her usual, cakes, donuts, and chocolates and stuff. And so I offered her some cauliflower rice. To my surprise, she ate a little bit of it. She spit it out, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The valuable lesson to be learned here is don't share your lunch with Stacy from accounting. And so I'm just kidding, Tyler. Shout out to you. Cheers. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and I really do appreciate you. Thank you for everything you've done for me, for others. I admire what you've done for yourself as well. Thanks for all your hard work that you put into this summer challenge, and cheers to you, bud. What's going on, Team Tyler? Actually, I'm gonna talk about myself this time. My name is Christian Martinez. I'm 35 years old. I live in a suburb next to St. Louis, St. Charles, Missouri, for those of you keeping tabs. Why did I do First Phorm? Why did I come to join you guys for this 8 weeks challenge? Really, what I was looking for was discipline. I've practiced discipline in only one area of my life that I can say is just work, and at the neglect of every other area in my life, including self-care. And that's where First Phorm came in. First Phorm taught me how to care about myself again, and how to do that, and how to be mindful of what I put into my body and how I exercise my body to become stronger. I like to share a verse with you. Every time I think about the word discipline itself, obviously for me it carries a lot of weight, but I always think of a scripture verse when I think of the word discipline, and I'll share that with you guys now. The scripture verse reads, this is Hebrews 12:11. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. And I'll admit, at the beginning of this challenge, and for a long time, I've always thought that scripture verse just means, put in the effort and you'll be rewarded. It's come to be way more than just that, but I'll explain that in a little bit. So what led me to First Phorm was, as I explained, the only area in my life I actually really practiced discipline was at work, at the neglect of every other area in my life. At the beginning of the year, I lost my job. And what led me to that was, I could say it's a noble reason. I refused to take the job. And I had been under threat by my management for a while, for months, because that was unacceptable. And I knew the day was coming. I just kept my head down and kept working hard. And finally, they called me into my director's office, and HR was there. And I basically stood my ground, and the meeting was a short one. The very next day, they called me in. They thanked me for all my hard work as I handed in my laptop and my phone, and they escorted me out, and that was it. So I've been looking for a job ever since. Been talking to different companies, and I'm very open about my stance on the job. And honestly, I'll never know if that's why I don't get called back. So it's months into that journey that I decided, if I'm not going to practice discipline at work, what areas of my life that I've been neglecting all of this time, where can I improve them by practicing discipline. And specifically when it comes down to self-care, that's where First Phorm came in and the 8 weeks challenge. So I was very grateful to First Phorm to just bringing focus back into my daily life while I'm waiting for a job. And it was at a very, it was perfect timing that First Phorm came into my life. So I will say, I'll read you a little snippet of my essay without going into the whole thing, where I explain what First Phorm means to me in the area of my life I've been neglecting, which is self-care. And it goes like this. These past 8 weeks with First Phorm has taught me to have a new relationship with food. Every morsel of food I ate during this challenge had suddenly become a conscious act of care for my body, as opposed to an unconscious act of neglect. I can tell you, and I'm wanting to share a picture with you guys in a minute. I can tell you that not being mindful of everything I ate was definitely neglectful. I also can share with you guys that my weight, my physical appearance, and my health has always been at the mercy of my feelings. And when I think about that, I recall a picture that I took a couple of years ago. This was, I really hope he doesn't mind me sharing his face, but this is a good friend of mine at his wedding. And that's me. And so I've always been fluctuating in weight, never consistent. And so I look at that picture and I could tell you that that was a time in my life where I was eating my feelings. So I was overweight. I'm not very happy with my appearance in that picture, but I feel like First Phorm helped me change that. It freed me from eating my feelings, and now I'm mindful of everything I put into my body, regardless of how I feel. I will share with you guys one more quote from somebody I admire, and he is Tim Keller. He's a pastor in New York City. I'm going to paraphrase. I don't know exactly how he says this, but he says something like, "Joy is when what you ought to do and what you love to do are one and the same." I can say that at the other side of discipline, I have experienced joy, where I ought to do, what I ought to eat is something I love to do and love to eat. And it's all for the caring of my body. And this journey has brought me closer to a lot of people that have been in my corner throughout this entire time, and I'm very grateful. Thanks again, Tyler. Thanks, First Phorm. I appreciate everything you guys do. And cheers to you.